The port of Mariupol was the first city struck when Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Civilians were hit hard, and photos of the attack captured the devastation, the loss, and the endurance, revealing to the world the horrors of this war. This photo was taken by my next guest, part of his reporting called Mariupol Maternity Hospital Airstrike. It won the top prize in this year's World Press Photo Contest. Evgeny Maleleka is a Ukrainian photojournalist. He joins me now. Evgeny, it's nice to talk to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation.
Looking through your photos, what strikes me is how many children you see. Some of them with blood on them, some of them sort of clinging with toys in a bomb shelter overnight. What do you want people to learn from the images that you've captured?
You know, when we saw our own eyes, these kids breathing by their parents or by the medical workers, trying to save them, you know, we were like mostly crying. In the end, we still don't understand why it's happening and why kids, they should not be there. They should not cease. It should not, you know, pass away in front of our eyes. But it happened. And the doctors tell us, you know, like, show this to Putin. He might see that he is killing our kids. And it's, in the end of the day, each day. So it's really was hard to understand why it's happening. And why it's happening for the 15 months already. And like today was, 2 kids were killed on the strike on the Kiev. It's very hard. Like 2 days ago, I was at home sleeping, and the Shahed drone was hit by Ukrainian air defense just 200 meters from my window. And it's still continuing nowadays. That Russia is bombing our cities.
I want to ask about a specific photo, if I can. It's a pregnant
Sure.
woman on a stretcher. What can you tell me about that photo?
It's really hard, you know, like for us, what at that specific day, or is now we were mostly uncharged, no phone connection, and we were in the middle of the day after one shooting, come back to the city center, and we were parked in the area like where there was just regular buildings, and we heard the sound of the jet and multiple of huge explosions near us. And lately we come to the upper floor and understood where it's hit. It was a maternity ward. When we come there, we saw how the rescue workers carry Irina Kalinina, a wounded pregnant woman. They rushed to take her to the ambulance. She was lying on the watermelon blanket, like touching her stomach. And at that moment, she was alive. Few days later, we come to the hospital to verify all the ladies, how they are, and the doctors told us that they were trying to save the child of Irina, but unfortunately, she was born dead, and they as well to try to save Irina. And unfortunately, she lost too many blood and did not survive. Her husband told me her story, that she was looking for her for 2 days. In the end of the second day, the doctors said to him that he should look among the dead. And through the number of beds, he found her. You know, he told me that at first, I don't really want to recognize her, but I recognize her.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he buried her with her neighbors and with his father on the cemetery near their house. And then she was reburied to her hometown, where she's from.
You took that photo in Mariupol. So
Yes, yes.
you took that to Mariupol. We knew Russia. You went there at a time when it was clear Russia was headed there. What made you want to go into Mariupol knowing the Russians were on their way?
So we came to Mariupol just 1 hour before invasion, and our team decided to stay there as much as possible to document this horror of war, these war crimes, as much as we can. And we stayed for 20 days in Mariupol, and we documented many stories, many people's voices, because we really understood that that was so important and someone should document, because otherwise there will be no evidences that nobody can say that it was happening.
Have you always been a war photographer, Evgeny, or did Vladimir Putin turn you into a war photographer?
So the situation, after Euromaidan in 2014, turned our lives in a different perspective. And after coming back from the referendum, so-called referendum from Crimea, we understood that Russia will do something bad to Ukraine. And it's happened. And that's how I automatically, like many other Ukrainian photographers, switched from the press photographer to the war photographer. We didn't choose this, path, but the situation changed us, and we might react on the situation, and because it's as well, especially nowadays, I think information is really important, and especially fact-check information with the journalists who've been on the ground and saw everything by their own eyes is really important.
How does it feel to cover a conflict like this in your home, in your own country, right? I know a lot of people who have covered conflicts and gone overseas to cover war. You may be the first person I've spoken to who's covered the conflict in their own home.
I can tell you that sometimes it's hard and easy. It's easy for you to navigate in the country. You know where is the story. You know the people. It's easy to communicate, but it's really hard to understand that you have so many friends who give their lives to resist Russian aggression. It's really painful to see that your friends or relatives being under the torture, who decided to stay on their homes and to protect their homes and the occupied territories.
As you said, just as a final point, we're 15 months into this now. The spring offensive is due to happen at any point, we keep hearing. What's your sense of where this conflict is at this point? Do you think it's any closer to a conclusion?
That, of course, it's with all of us, waiting for spring, summer offensive, and for Ukraine will do some operation to liberate our territories. Right. It's really important, and all of the Ukrainians, hope for the future to come back home. But it's so insane that the escalation is growing and growing up every day, by waves, of course. Mm-hmm. And all of us, as I told you, so they want to come back home, no matter how it will cost us.
Evgeny Malolek, thank you for your time. Thank you for your photos. And please stay safe, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much.